Drogba indirdi ceza. Snyder. Snyder gol! Allah'ım gol! Muslera. Fernando Muslera. Golün adı Muslera. Sarıyoglu. Drogba. This is incredible.
Merhaba and welcome to episode 13 of the Lion's Den, a Galatasaray podcast done by the community for the community from all around the galaxy. My name is Samet and I've gathered here today with almost everyone except for Coach Can. Unfortunately, his trading session started late so he couldn't join us. But we do have from America, New York, Brooklyn Emre, and Objective Yasin. How are you Americans doing?
Doing all right.
Good. Weather's opening up here, so that's always a nice thing.
Nice. People are going out with their skinny jeans, shorts.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah, Yasin definitely going out with some shorts.
But what do you think we wear here? I'm actually curious. What do you think we wear here?
I don't know.
Vest, probably? Or
Yes, exactly.
And that was historian Saleh from the Netherlands. Did you have another fact for us this week?
Right, this week's fact. A bit different, but, that's how I roll. So, did you know that in Switzerland, it's illegal to own just one guinea pig because they're prone to loneliness? Apparently, by law, it's not allowed to have animals just, solo, which might suffer from loneliness. This also includes goldfish, by the way. The only question is, how do they check on this? I don't know, but apparently it's illegal. So, there you go.
You cannot own one goldfish in your house.
Because it will be lonely. You need at least two. Yeah, I know.
They don't apply that for kids, I'm guessing, right?
I mean, they have their parents, I guess, so no.
Fish have parents.
Goldfish.
Hey, don't blame me. I just look it up, right? It's just what I found. It was pretty bizarre to me as well. So
Interesting.
Well, with that said, we also have the most beloved person on the podcast from Melbourne, Australia, Croco Mazar. How are the goldfish in Australia, Mazar?
The goldfish are good, but they come in singles here, bro. They don't come in doubles. So we don't have a law like that.
Don't they get lonely?
I don't know, bro. Don't tell me. I'm a crocodile, not a goldfish.
Glad Mazar.
Hey, bro, you guys gave me that nickname. I'm wearing it, man.
Yeah. You're Croco Mazar, Kangaroo Mazar.
I need a new one. I think next week.
Going through all the animals.
Not manta rays, hopefully.
Manta rays. Oh, they sting, right?
You don't get it?
I'm not a native
Nah,
speaker,
bro, that
so
flew
I don't get
over
it.
my head.
The stingrays? Nah, not manta rays, stingrays. What was that Australian dude that got stabbed by...
Oh, no,
by
don't. Are we going to talk about Steve Irwin? This is going to be a happy podcast, bro. You're going to make me cry like that, bro. What's wrong with you?
There's no chance this is going to be a happy podcast, bro. Have you seen recent events?
Unfortunately, yes.
I guess we'll get into that, right?
Yes.
You know what, Yasin? Go ahead. Recent event. What happened?
What do you want to say, bro? You heard
know.
you heard our predictions last week, and you saw reality. There's nothing to be happy about. Not only did we lose, we played pretty poorly. I'm a huge fan. Okay, I shouldn't say huge fan. I was supporting Torrent, and that seems to be down the drain too. He seems to be a goner. Recent events with Eşref and Metin Öztürk, we talked about it last week as being the two primary candidates for president next season. Both of them have made it very clear that Torrent's not going to be the coach next year. So it's just a guessing game at this point. I guess there's rumors to talk about today. I don't want to get too into the details, but it's just a sad time to be. Personally, I've been balancing both football, Galatasaray, and also something new for me this season, which is basketball and the Rockets, because Alperen Şengün. And the Rockets are done. They're the worst team in the season, so there's no playoffs to watch. So I'm at a standstill. I'm just waiting for this season to finish and then start new next season.
You're not even mentioning the win against Fenerbahce. You're a basketball watcher right now.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a very specific watcher, which is Alperen
He's an
Şengün and the
Alperen
Rockets.
Şengün
I
fan.
don't.
What does
I-
this guy have?
Huh?
It's Turkish.
What does he have?
What else does he have? Yeah.
I mean, he's
Jason
19
Mraz.
years old. He's a rookie from Turkey. He played for Beşiktaş, but I found out about him.
Oh, of course.
he
I
did.
know.
Yeah, of course.
I said that just
Tell
so
us
you guys can
something
say
new,
that you're
bro.
welcome. But yeah, he's from Giresun. He's 19 years old, rookie, and he's doing. He did pretty good this season. You know, they didn't really expect a lot out of him. He was the 16th pick in the draft, and he.
So, were you supporting Galatasaray because the president was Giresunlu, or
No, I found out about that later on, actually.
oh, you stopped supporting Gala now that we fired him?
Yo, can
I
you
see.
not, man? I'm sad. All right, I don't want to talk about this.
Good. Be sad.
Alperen Şengün had a bad game, or
Alperen Şengün has
Is that
good
why?
games, bad games. Overall, he did well, but yeah, that's it, man. This is a Galatasaray podcast. No need to talk about basketball too
Bro,
much.
16th draft, 15th draft, all that. It feels Chinese to me, man. I don't know all about that. I don't follow basketball myself, so.
I didn't either. I learned that all this season.
Hmm.
This is my first time.
so me and Maz are gonna watch a game on Sunday. Galatasaray basketball team. So he's gonna teach me how that works. All I can remember from my youth playing a bit of basketball is I fouled people for no reason. Like everything is a foul, offside, whatever. So I didn't really like basketball, but I'm gonna try to get into it.
Bro, I swear,
Watch Gala.
I can just imagine Samit, bro, being that guy in high school that just has no idea how to play basketball, but just tries to play
Yeah.
anyway. So every time you're playing, you just see this guy jump on the field, and you're like, "Oh no, it's him again!" And it just
I
starts
get
like
whistled all the time. I'm like, I didn't touch him. I didn't touch anyone. Like, how do
is
you
it-
play this fucking ball game?
and it's you're just slapping people out, probably.
FYI, though,
You're
Summit,
slapping the ball from their hands.
I learned
yeah?
they did. I think Musk can keep me honest here. They did change the rules in the NBA in the last couple of years, where not everything is called a foul as easily as it was before. So I guess that
Yeah, yeah.
made the game a little bit more free and free flowing, I should say. So maybe you'll
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
more
You
now
can't-
than before.
You
I
can't
had
foul bait
vision
and
back
stuff
when I was a
anymore.
child.
You can't like bait for fouls and like dive and stuff. They don't call them anymore.
Yeah, no, I told them back then. It took them 20 years to change it, but yeah.
It was an visionary, bro.
Hey, but what I wanted to say, Yasin, you said Eşref Hamamcıoğlu
Mhm.
and Metin Öztürk, both of which are Galatasaray candidates for presidency.
Mhm.
You said they both do not think of continuing with Torrent.
Yeah.
Did I hear that correct?
Yeah, just to quickly paraphrase it, Metin Öztürk is thinking he wants a Turkish coach, it seems. Both Nuri Şahin and Okan Buruk's
Buruk.
names have come across, both of which I think fans would be okay with, even though Nuri Şahin's experience is not that, I don't know, proven yet. He also...
Can I ask
Yeah.
before, because didn't both the presidency candidates also say they would continue with Torrent because that was the most logical thing to do?
That's a good
That was
question.
before the
I
derby.
think
I
they-
think
yeah,
that was
yeah, I
before
th-
the derby.
Exactly. I think they mentioned it before the derby, and after seeing our performance, they switched, like did a full 180 again and said, nah, we're not gonna continue with this guy. So
They're already on the fence with him. I don't know if not last podcast, but previous one. I think I did mention that this was his Torrent's chance to prove that he deserves to stay or not if he wins this Fenad game,
yeah, I fully agree. This was his. I mean,
and he failed.
yeah, in like season wise, it's not gonna change anything for us anyway. It is more for himself and for the fans, right? To still have some good feeling after a game against our biggest rival, but unfortunately we lost
It's
it.
not
so
just how we lost.
Hmm?
It's not just that we lost. It's how we lost, bro.
that
We got destroyed. We got outcoached by Ismail Kartal, bro. Come on, man.
yeah.
Like that just can't happen, bro. That can't happen to guys today, bro. Getting outcoached by Arap Ismail.
That is true.
Subbing on a kebabçı, bro. I mean Arda Turan. Like why?
It's just I guess I don't know, quality of play difference or form or whatever, because yeah, we've lost this one unfortunately again. I did have hopes because we won the Beşiktaş game as well at home though, but as part of my prediction, I did unfortunately predict that they would win, and well, as you can see, they actually did.
Well, Looking
unfortunately.
back on that Beşiktaş game, do you think it was more of that we were better, or Beşiktaş was just piss poor and the coach at the time was just not up to the task because he was not really a coach?
We
before.
were there to support our team. That was the difference.
That, and I actually do believe that Beşiktaş didn't do that much. Even at the end when Galatasaray decided to sit back more, it wasn't that they were really outplaying us. They just whipped the ball constantly and just hoped for the best. That's all they could do. So, no, I would say
Right.
that we did play better at Beşiktaş. But versus Fener, especially that first goal, like, man, was it Zayich, whatever? The amount of
Ziyech.
space he had, that was just unacceptable. He was
Ziyech was like, the fans didn't want him in the club. You know that, right? Like
Mhm.
last year, they're like in outs with him, and now all of a sudden, Ismail Kartal comes, and then he's part of not Ismail Kartal, but I think it was with what was their previous coach,
Vitor Pereira.
Vitor. I think he started implementing, Ziyech slowly, and then Kartal just really like found the way to utilize him properly, and then he's been playing consistently. So I don't know, but then you see our players, it's just they're all over the place. He's like completely empty in the fucking 10-yard box, just
Mhm.
waiting to tap in a ball. I don't know. What do you guys think of our midfield performance versus their midfield performance?
We couldn't string 2 passes together, bro.
And okay, also this.
All there is to it.
Put this into perspective. When Torrent took over, Ismail Kartal took over Fenerbahce, same time. Same amount of games played, but we were only 5 points behind them at the time. And now look at our position and their position. There's that like you can also take that into perspective as well. So
If you look at that by itself, it's interesting, but there's a lot of factors involved in the way that we spread out, I guess, from then until now. I mean, I can go on and on. You can call it excuses. Maybe they are excuses, but I think there's a lot of reasons why we did split like that. Galatasaray was performing, according to some good, according to some bad, but at the end of the day, you lost Fatih Terim, and that created a huge issue amongst the fans. And I think even as a player, to lose somebody like Fatih Terim in the locker room and in training, that's going to hit you. And there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. And then there was pressure at the presidential board, right? Ali Koç has been under pressure too, but he's used to this. He's been under pressure for 3 years now. Also, again, it depends on who you ask, but a lot of people could say that Fenerbahce's squad is better than us, especially their midfield. And the midfield, I think we can all agree, is the heart of your team, your starting 11. If your midfield is not good and balanced, both attacking and defensively, you're going to have a hard time, because not every team that you play against is going to be a team that you can sit back against, like we did against maybe Barcelona. Sometimes you're going to need to attack, and you're going to have a hard time doing that with players like Berkan and Taylan in the midfield together, and out of Fonchikaldao, a Faguli who is started off well but then got injured. You don't really have a proper replacement for that. There's a lot. I guess that's my initial thoughts. I don't want to be the only one talking, so I'm curious what you guys think as well.
I don't think their midfield was leagues beyond ours. They had Crespo, Ziyech, and Mert Hakan in their midfield versus Berkan, Jaldao, and Taylan, who Taylan was our main DM for majority of our season last year, and we were 1 point away from the championship. So I don't think there's a big discrepancy in our midfield. I just feel like how they were used is the big issue.
There's another you forgot some players though. You forgot Gustavo. You forgot.
But I'm saying Gustavo didn't even play in that Fener game.
I know. So that's where I'm getting at. They have competition. You as a player, as a professional, will always try to do better and always try to be on your toes when you have competition that can take your spot. Don't forget Irfan Can Kahveci. You didn't even list him. He was a starter, and he's an excellent player on his day. Mert Hakan Yandaş might not be the most skilled player, but he works his ass off. Yes, you can call him names or whatever, but the guy can put a shift in if that's what you ask. Crespo is a very informed player, and he's been phenomenal. I mean, they have a lot of competition in their entire team. One of the best defenders in the league did not even start that game, which is Attila Sezai. He's an amazing center back, but because of that competition from Serdar Aziz, yes, he's not the best, but it's competitive. And that's what allows Fenerbahce to thrive, I think. when you compare it to us, because we don't have a competitive bench. We don't have a competitive squad. And I think that was one of our downfalls this season, among
Well, you're
many other
saying that
things.
there's some few players in form. They weren't in form to begin with. I think later on, it's a coach effect, right? It's like you bring those players into form. All right, you might be right, but we have players that can, like, okay, listen, Thailand has Pulgar as an alternative, and Pulgar's from Fiorentina. He's not from like the third league. You know what I mean? If he's not going to be a competition to Thailand and Thailand's still going to play, then that's just poor management and like planning on our part and not getting proper competition for our players then, right? Squad depth.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, after seeing these performances for this season, we can. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a bit speechless how we can go from indeed second place last year to fall this much, because
Let me ask this.
yeah, go ahead.
When Fatih Terim was our coach, we played a certain way. And we can now, with Torrent, also say we play a certain way. What do you think was better? How we used to play before or how we play now?
So, Ahmed, let me put it this way for you. When Fatih Terim was part of our squad, when he was at the coach, we used to have, for every match, we'd have 8.7 positions per match. And on average, when Dominic Torrent came through, it was 3.9. So we used to be first in the league in the first half, and then second half, we're 14th creating positions. So I think that kind of puts it into perspective.
Yeah, I want to hear it from Yasin, though.
Specifically
I
from
mean,
Yasin.
again, like what Emre said is very valid, and at face value, it means a lot, and it shows, okay, under Torrent, we didn't play as attacking, we didn't play as attractive, it didn't give as much excitement as it did when we were with Terim. But again, this is a team that Fatih Terim built.
No. Who's the better coach? Just tell me who's the better coach.
It's not that simple. I mean, I can't.
Just tell me, Torrent or Terim.
A better
I think they're
coach?
equally bad, to be honest, this season.
I will never
Sorry,
say
sormadım,
Fatih Terim is a good coach. I don't think he's
Oh
a
my
good
God.
coach. But
Maz.
Look, Sadis said something
Maz.
very important. This season, they were equally as bad. Which
Yes.
is true. Yeah. All right, look. The first half of the
And who-
season,
okay.
when Fatih said him.
go on, Mazar. I just want to add one question I want you to answer when you go on.
Alright.
Who has more of an excuse to being as bad as they were this season? If you say
None of
they're
them.
as bad as they are, who has more of an excuse to say, I was bad because of XYZ? Who has more XYZs, Fatih Terim or Torrent? So go on, but I want you to
Ismail
answer that
Kartal.
question too.
Look.
No,
look.
I will.
Alright.
I will answer that summit after, but I want Mazar to talk.
Ismail Kartal. He has the best excuse.
All right, look, at the first half of the season with Fatih Terim, we were bad. Okay. In the league. I'm not talking
No,
about
I
Europa
disagree.
or whatever.
I
Let-
disagree.
let-
We played
let me
good
Let him finish.
football.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Go.
Let me
Let
finish.
Mazar talk.
Defending, we were 10 times better than Torrent. Okay? I will die on this hill. Our defending was a million times better with Fatih Terim. Sorry, I think I said with Torrent. With Fatih Terim, we were way better at defending. Attacking-wise, we were able to build up the ball, but we weren't able to finish. Don't forget that. So
And you know what John always said? Getting
Score-
there is 90% of the coach.
yeah, but
What he needs to do.
we couldn't score, and we gotta blame that on
And
someone.
that's on the players.
Let him finish.
That's what I
I
was
don't know.
saying.
That's up for debate. But who's got more excuses? I think they both have excuses. Fatih Terim's excuse was he was doing both Europa and the league. He was very successful at Europa, but with the league,
When
sucked.
before he got sacked from the league, there wasn't that much of a discrepancy from
of course,
first, second,
of course,
and
I
third
understand
to
that.
where we were. It was very close. Like the point distribution was like about 8 points, I think, from
Yeah.
second to us.
But we were still
You guys
12th.
also watched the game at home against Fenerbahce. Maybe take those two games as an example. Look, I'll tell you my opinion. In that game, we were the better team. We got into a lot of positions. Sure, we couldn't finish it, or the referees didn't give our goals, like the Jagne one. But now we're not even getting in front of the goal.
Of course,
And that's the whole problem.
Torrent sucks.
That's what I'm trying to make understand. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying let's fire Torrent.
That's what it sounds
said
like.
this countless of. No, I'm just arguing, criticizing who's the better coach, because a lot of people are experts and they know that it's let's get a Fatih Terim, even if it's mid-season. The better, the sooner the better. Let's just get a new coach ASAP, and then we get into this shitty position, and those fans, of course,
No,
I don't know
the
what
better
excuse
coach.
they have now.
Pretty obvious.
If you throw it that way, I can throw it the other derby way as well. What did we do with Beşiktaş? With Terim we lost, with Torrent we won. Can also do it that way. I mean,
Well,
even
that
though-
was away, and Mo missed like a penalty, which was very heartbreaking to see. I don't think we would have lost that game either. And that game wasn't as bad with the rest, but that one was still very questionable, but definitely
Didn't
not
we
as
also
bad.
lose against Finn at home though?
yeah,
We did. That
lost
one was
both Fener
that was
games.
like scandalous as hell, that game.
Still,
I'm sorry, we got fucked over the first half of the season. Hard. No one can deny that. And the second half of the season, have we talked about the refs? No,
Not really.
Not at all. Because obviously there was some feud going on between Terim and TFF. And
Terim-
this is what he
But
got.
it doesn't
Tim
end
couldn't
there.
keep his mouth shut though. Like
That's true.
every small thing, he'd be like, I'm gonna speak in Turkish. It's like, örgüt var TFF'nin içinde, like this, that, like there's a, how do you say örgüt? Like a conspiracy kind of thing.
Look,
inside the
we,
TFF.
yeah,
Come
we
on,
can
bro.
be a crackpot theorist, we can be conspiracy theorists, but no one can deny, especially after TFF firing 10 referees and then taking some of them back, Nihat Özdemir resigning.
Mhm.
Nobody can deny there's shit going on in Turkey, especially in football. It's not a crackpot theory anymore. It's the truth. And we got fucked over hard, and that's the truth as well. Now, guys, maybe a question on top of this. Would you guys continue with Torrent for next season?
I mean, I've never
Why
wanted him.
must?
Right, look, before Torrent came, when the rumors were circulating, we did research. We all did research on this guy, and the previous club's fans said the same thing we are saying now. The highs are high, but the lows are also really low. So it's just the same thing that's happened as previous clubs. I don't think he's improving from his mistakes. Like we saw what happened against Fener, bro. Like subbing in Arda was just enough for me. Like when you had was Muratan was on the bench the whole game, yeah. Like come on,
They got subbed in together
Yeah,
in the
I know.
85th minute.
did they?
Murtan
sorry.
came in
Yeah.
for Babel, I
My
believe.
Oh yes. My bad. But still, either way, I just don't think we continue with him. I wish we could, but there's just no light at the end of the tunnel.
For me, it's a bit difficult because look, if Thornt was here from the beginning of the season, and halfway through we got these results, then I would say, okay, get him out, easy as that. But since he joined halfway through, and when he joined us, we were 12, and now we're still, I think we're even lower, 15th, right? But they're still kind of the same. And indeed, with all the other problems we have, election, what happened before, the sacking of Terim, etc. I'm still not sure if it's as fair to say that we should part ways, because I mean he came in a very, very difficult position. So might sound crazy, but I would continue. I would actually want to see from the start of the season what he can do with some signings, since he pretty much only really got Peña as well, and see from there. Right now he's just trying to keep the boat afloat, and I guess he does that by not relegating. But yeah, we're not doing more than that. So, I would say just continue.
Let me ask you this question though. When you get a new coach, don't you expect some things to change for the better?
Yes and no. I mean, depends on what team, the circumstance, and everything. Yeah, sometimes you do have this new manager bounce. Sometimes it just takes longer. I mean, yeah. So no, I think it depends. Depends on what type of coach you bring in as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're past that point of not being able to criticize Torrent for being too early. Like how many weeks it been? He's only won like 4 or 5 games. I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking out of emotion and being reactionary, but
No,
I
that's
mean,
fine.
I
No,
think we-
everyone has a different opinion.
I think
For me,
I think we could have done better.
I mean, I was expected to lose this game anyway, so I'm not maybe as surprised. as you guys, but I still think. When did we sack? What was his name again? Italian guy after Mancini. Prandelli.
Prandelli?
How quickly
Prandelli.
did we actually sack him? I wonder. I know that he did start the season with us, but was he sacked?
Was he after or before Denizli?
Before? I
Before.
believe. Yeah, it was before.
Before?
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, Prandelli was losing left and right to everybody, 4-0, even at home.
Prandelli started in July of 2014 and then was sacked November of 2014. He played 16 games and had 1.25 points per game. But again, the difference here is he started the beginning of July and the season doesn't start until what, mid or late August. So he had a preseason with the team. It might not be from June, but it's still a preseason with the team, and he still has a say in the transfers that were made for that team season. That season. So that's a huge difference that we need to keep in mind if we're going to compare the two.
mm-hmm.
And that's what I want for Torrent as well. You might be surprised, but yeah, I've mentioned it many times. Stability, and he gets the 1.5 year from me still. It just sounds for me the logical thing to do. I mean, rather than paying him out the contract, spend a few million there, get another coach, spend a few million there. It just doesn't make sense. Just keep him for
Does it make
another
sense? Okay, so one of the biggest criticisms for why we didn't make any transfers before is that we didn't have money. Let's say he does. You know, we sell Marcao. Rumors are that there is very serious offers. Let's say he does get sold and we allow, allocate some, money for Torrent to make transfers. He makes his transfers next year. He doesn't do well. And then all those transfers gone, just like Tatum did with Morutsan and, Jijaldao. Will you still be happy about it, or would you rather someone who can make something out of nothing?
I'd be fine. I mean,
I wouldn't
what
be
we are
fine,
trying
personally.
The thing is, what we are trying in Turkey is not very known. It takes balls to try, and what I mean by that is bringing Sensibile, listening to the consultancy of Luis Campos, and actually trying to professionalize internally. That's I'd like to see them try, and after another year, if doesn't work, I'll be, you know what? Fuck it. We tried. Let's go back to how things were. Do it the Turkish way.
No, exactly.
I don't want to do it the Turkish way. Because that means fans are going to go and get riled up. Then who comes back?
Fans
who comes
always
back.
get riled up. Doesn't matter what you do. They always get
But
riled up.
who comes back? Who comes back? But Tatum.
One and only.
That's what
I
I just want a new, just fresh blood, not a 59-year-old who has been assisting another man for almost 2 decades. I want someone new, some Turkish guy, Okan Buruk or Nuri Şahin, someone who's just doing something right now in the league, showing themselves, proving themselves.
Okan would be nice, bro.
Okan. Why do I say, people always look at me like, Emre, what does Okan do that you're so like? Okan has proven himself countless times that he has taken teams that were on the brink of relegation with players that looked like they were absolute trash and brought them up to new heights. He's won cups with Akhisar, who you would never think would win a cup in their history, against Fenerbahce.
Go suck his dick, will ya?
Why don't
I mean,
you go
Emre,
suck
what-
Torrent's dick?
The way that you describe Okan Buruk is actually very similar to how somebody would describe Sergen Yalçın before he joined Beşiktaş.
Mhm.
He might have not won a trophy like Okan did, but he brought teams that were not doing well and made them play exciting football. And there was at one point he was competing in like the top half of the table pretty well with a team that you would never expect. What happened? He joined Beşiktaş and he won that season. And correct me if I'm wrong, the championship he won was the same championship that he tied with us, right? In points at the end of the season.
Yes. Yes.
And then what happened? It's a risk. Just because a guy does well with a poor team, that doesn't mean it's going to translate to success.
But he
with
didn't
a
do it
bigger
just
club.
once. He did it multiple times, multiple seasons, and then he went
And
on to
it's-
do it with Başakşehir as well.
He did it with
And-
Başak. I don't mean to discredit Okan by any means. If he comes, I'll be happy, fine. But I'm trying to make an argument here saying Başakşehir has been competing in the league for quite some time, and they were about to win the championship the season before Okan did with Başakşehir versus us. Do you remember? I think the season
Yeah,
before.
we won.
We won.
Sacked him.
We
Yeah,
won
they
with how
choked
many
it.
points again?
They-
69 points. That's like really low if you think about
They
it.
choked
Exactly.
it so hard, but they had a good team. What they were doing has been consistently successful for a couple seasons. Okan came and he had a touch that made a difference for them to be championship that season. And that was the same season where COVID happened. That was the same season we were probably likely going to win the championship if it wasn't for COVID. Correct me if I'm wrong. We were on something else the beginning of the second half of the season. COVID happened. We went to trash. All the other teams went to trash. Başakşehir, who already had no fans in the stadium, felt no difference because after COVID, pre-COVID, still no fans. So they were able to carry that with no pressure, and they did it. So I think that is not the best example, but
What, Başakşehir? Why can't you say that he was at least consistent enough with his players that he was able to...
He was. I don't mean to say that Okan is bad. I just wanted to make an argument against the other side for people to think about when we make arguments for these coaches, and we should think about both sides too. But yeah, that's what I want to say about Okan.
I mean, like I said, I was never in favor of Torrent when he first came in, but sorry, Salih. But I don't know. I just see like that Turkish coaches just do something more than foreign coaches. Like statistically, you see that they do perform better on average, and that's what like my biggest reasoning is that for wanting Okan or just a Turkish coach in general. Just give someone a chance that's not Fatih Terim, and like someone said, if you want, stay behind them, give them a chance. Do something new with them.
All right. Who should it be? Okan Buruk, you're saying, huh?
If it was between Nuri and Okan, I actually like both, but I want to give it to the more experienced chap, which is Okan. But if someone were to say he's not available and Nuri's coming in, I won't complain.
I'd go for Nuri, and it's because I can relate more to him with his Gurbetçi background. I just don't want the Turkish mentality back in our league, in how the team is managed. I just want something that's professionalized, and I don't know. Okan is still a Turk,
That's actually that might be funny, but I'm fully behind that thinking.
You got all of Turkey against us right now.
That's a very interesting.
I agree. I agree with what you think, but I just don't think he's got enough experience. Like, I wouldn't be mad if he came. I wouldn't be mad, but I don't know.
If our
isn't it
fan
too
base
soon?
was different, I think Mozart, like, as soon as he starts doing bad, you know what the whole consensus is gonna be? It's like, oh, this is who you brought. They call Torrent to Chaija. They're gonna call Nuri something like still a bebek. He's still a toddler, on training wheels or something like that. Some like clever shenanigans surrounding his name.
Nah, bro, he studied at Harvard, bro.
Yeah, our fans are very short-tempered. That's true.
That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
the
Like,
league in
if you want
I
someone,
wouldn't want to
be,
do Nori's career like that. Like, he's gonna come to Gala. If
Yeah.
he doesn't do good, he's gonna get berated. And his
like
name's
if
gonna go
Haji
back
got
to the mud.
berated, bro. Think about Nuri, like, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why you need to bring someone with some sort of tenure, and that's why I'm saying Okan probably fits that bill.
So to recap a bit, okay, we lost the football derby against Fenerbahce with Torrent. We won the basketball derby against Fenerbahce on the side. And, focus on the football, obviously. Torrent losing the derby. A lot of talks are going on, including us. But aside from that, moving on, we also had a friendly against Dynamo Kyiv. Have you guys watched the game?
I'll start
Small
with
part
this
of
one. No, I mean, it's a friendly. For me, it's a meaningless game. I know it's a charity game, and on the bench we had quite some youngsters, but I barely watched. I'm not gonna lie, I watched 5 to 10 minutes at most. So no, I can't comment too much on the match itself.
Yasin?
I didn't watch most of it. I just watched the end of it, and that's also because that's when the youngsters came on. I wanted to see what they were about. I was most excited for Beknas, but I actually ended up being most excited for, after watching, of course, what's that kid's name?
Ayhan Akman?
Ayhan Akman.
Hamza Akman, I think.
Yeah, him. It's not like he did a lot in a short period of time, but there was one play on the left wing that gave me confidence and hope that this kid could become something, because you have to take into consideration he's 17 years old, I think. He's playing his first game for, the A team at home, and he has very few minutes. Most players in that situation, they will shit the bed. They will not be able to perform. They will look lost on the field. When they get a chance, they'll mishandle it. But he took advantage of that one opportunity that he had so well, where it makes you think, okay, this kid has that mentality and that professionalism and that focus to be able to do something if he works hard. So it's exciting. And I think the fact that we did play a lot of youngsters in that game was nice. Even though we lost 3-1, it's, of course, you're going to say, oh, dude, we lost to a team that hasn't played football in how many months? Yeah, we lost to a team that had better physicality than us, and they haven't been playing. They're in the middle of war. How about us? Like, you can create all these jokes validly, but it's still nice to see so many youngsters get minutes, and that still brings hope. During these dark times, during these depressing days, it's still nice to see those youngsters come on. And it was for a good cause, so even though we lost, I still felt like it was a nice positivity change from what we were used to in recent times.
I mean, honestly, I don't care if we lost the friendly. It's a friendly in the end. It doesn't really mean much to me. It's important that if we're playing a friendly, like you said, play the youngsters. I want to see them play. I want to see them get time. If you're going to lose with them. So, but I didn't personally watch the game. I don't know who else. I mean, Summit
Maz?
or
I watched
Moss.
a bit of it, bro. It's friendlies. I don't pay a lot of attention to it. I just wish the youngsters got a bit more time. Like, if the youngsters aren't getting, like, at least 45, 60 minutes of playing time in a friendly, when are they going to get the playing time? But it's
How much did they play?
Probably
minutes or
around
something
10
like
to
that.
20, yeah. I mean,
it's not enough.
So
looking
I did watch the
even
game.
looking at the backline though, we had a backline of Semih Kaya, Alpaslan, Ömer Bayram. Like, that's not exciting to watch anyway. Like, that's a straight skip for me.
Arda was on the field as well.
True.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So I did watch the game, and you guys didn't miss much. It was kind of, for a friendly, ridiculous how we started. Especially seeing Arda on the field with his belly again. And, when I saw that, I was like, dude, Arda, what the fuck have you been tweeting about? It is not a perception of camera. You are that fat. It's like you cannot deny it anymore. What is this denial phase he's still in?
That was like me when I was fat and I was in denial.
Somewhat, how did he play? I was actually kind of curious.
A quality character, a quality football player will always keep his quality. I mean, look at Feghouli. His touches are amazing, right? And you could see glimpses of that, but he's not a footballer anymore. I bet if you put Ronaldinho on the field, he'd do better because he still has that skill. But do you have the stamina? Do you have the discipline that comes with football? Do you have all the other aspects? No, he lost it. He can just go sit in the boardroom with whoever suited up guy he is and smoke a cigar or whatever. But please leave the football field now.
It's funny because I expected after that photo, that photo op with Fatih Terim right before one of our big games, I thought they were going to completely bench him indefinitely. And I would have been happy if they did that. But they still kept him in.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, what is Arda provide us? I don't think he
So
provides
I'll tell
anything.
I'll tell you my guess at why and where I stand with Torrent as well. I just want to say this before I forget. I think Torrent understood that he is a gunner, and he essentially gave up and accepted the terms in the 85th minute versus Fenerbahce when he put on Morutan and Arda Turan in the game when it was 2-1, I believe it was.
2-0.
At that moment I knew because We didn't score, right? It was 2-0. What am I saying? Anyways, he put him on the 85th minute. These two guys, Modotan and Arda, are players that have not been smelling the field with Torrent, right? Has Arda ever played a single minute for Torrent since he came? No, but he did in the last 5 minutes. Modotan, this is the guy a lot of fans have been questioning. Why is he not playing? Why is he not playing? What did Torrent do? He put him on in the 85th minute at the same time with Arda. And then look at our friendly. Yes, it's a friendly, but I think Torrent is also sending a message here. Look at our starting lineup. You have Barış Alper Yılmaz, Arda Turan, Emre Kılınç, Morutan, Halil, Ulgar, Semih Kaya, Alparslan, Sacha Bowie, Ömer Bayram, and Pena. 95% of these guys are ones who Torrent has not really been playing at all or very little. And he put them on the field. I think he's trying to say, all right, my job's done here. I already know I'm getting the cut at the end of the season. And he's trying to show the fans, look, these are the guys that I'm working with. You see the 11 every single week. Obviously, you watch games. That's the 11 that I have. And these are your options. What do you think of it? Tell me. And he's trying to send a message. That's my guess, because going back to our prior conversation really quickly, I think Torrent has no shot at staying here. Do I want him to stay? Yes, but it's not realistic. Both presidents have clearly said in recent times that he's not continuing, and there's no way that he'll survive. Even if the presidents continue with him, it's just going to make them look bad, and they're not going to survive with the way that the fans are. So I just want to say that real quick. And for the rest of the season, who knows what we'll see.
I think the last part you mentioned, I think that's the reality. It's hard for me to accept. I'd rather wish it differently, but yeah, it is what it is. And about the friendly game we played against Dynamo, yeah. Interesting take. Go ahead, Emre.
I don't know if you guys have seen this. There was this like one picture circulating on Twitter. It's from the friendly game. It shows that we have the ball. I think this was right before we conceded the first goal. We have the ball. Our back three has the ball, and there's 5 players from Dynamo in the midfield with none of our players in the midfield. It's just completely empty. I don't know if you guys seen that.
I've seen that, bro.
I saw it, but what do you expect? What do you expect? Honestly. These guys have not been playing an 11 together except in training. You have Semih Kaya and Alparslan, who are your center backs. Semih Kaya has played proper center back consistently when. You have Alparslan, who's more of a CDM. And whenever he does play CDM or center back, he's absolutely lost on the field. You have Eric Pulgar, who is a lone CDM in that game. So he's likely, I didn't see the whole game, but he's likely trying to help out Semih Kaya and Alparslan on defense. That leaves an entire gap in the midfield that you're expecting Arda Turan to cover, or Emre Kılınç, who's a winger, to cover. So I don't know what anybody expects. I know it's a valid point to point out, but like I don't know what anybody expects. Like when you see this lineup and you see that midfield, it's like they're gonna score. It's just how many.
I mean, they're not rocking, Real Madrid Galacticos players, and they're all centered perfectly fine. You know what I mean? You just pointed it out earlier that this team, barely like plays football, but look at how they're positioned. Who's their coach? Lucescu. Exactly.
Adam işini biliyor, bro. He knows his.
That's my whole point, bro. That's my whole point. I don't care if it's Alparslan. You can make something out of anybody as long as you just tell them, teach them, show them what to do.
Yes and no. I can't comment too much because I don't know who these anybodies are on Dynamo Kyiv. I don't know if these guys are a bunch of Sacha Bowies who have lots of potential, who are actually decent, or if they're a bunch of Arda Turans on the field. Because I don't know that, I can't comment. But you do make a point. A coach should be able to do something with something, especially at Galatasaray with these guys with massive wages. But everything, bro. There's a lot to say, unfortunately.
Yeah, for those who watched the friendly, I wanted to touch up on a few nice things that I saw. Barış Alper Yılmaz has a really nice goal that game. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yeah. It was a banger.
On top of, yeah, exactly. It was really good. Just shows he's not completely lost. He has some quality at least, what we paid. Additionally, yeah, I said Ayhan Akman. So his son, Hamza Yiğit Akman, in the midfield, had a really solid game. Like Yasin said, very composed. didn't really look like he fitted in there between all the big guys. So that looked very good. And yeah, side note, he is the nephew of Ali Akman, who's at Nijmegen in Holland right now.
Oh my god.
That we wanted as a striker. But all in all, aside from that, not much we said.
Hopefully we keep playing these guys. I actually like what I saw from like the videos that were circulating. I really like these kids. Like Hamza, he was tackled from behind. He didn't fall and just wait for the foul. He got up and he went into that box and he almost assisted one of the players. He cut through past like 3 guys. I don't know, man. I'd rather him play than Ardo or Babet or whatever have you.
Yeah.
For sure.
I just want to add on to that and hear from you guys as well. Pose a question, but also come back to a question that was asked last week. I think it was last week before the Fenerbahce game.
Okay.
What do you do at this point? Do you play youngsters because there's nothing to win anymore? Or do you play guys who have something to prove? Do you stay with your 11 so they still maintain that core going into the next season? I'm curious what you guys think.
Me personally, I mean, he already knows majority of the players he has on hand, like you said, is a dud, right? Like, so I would personally rather see him utilize players that like Beknaz or Hamza and see if he can like integrate them into his future. Like, let's say he were to stay. Let's say he did win that Fenerbahce derby, right? Or tied it. I would have like rather seen him try to utilize players like from our academy or like under 19, under 21. Because at this point, what do you have to lose, right? You're kind of like out of the relegation zone already. You're not going to continue with like half your players, Babad, Figuli, Gomes. They're not going to be here next year. Well, I hope they're not here next year. Our midfield's like in shambles, like you guys pointed out. You need some competition there. And so like I would personally rather see him try to integrate, because nobody's going to say, oh, why are you playing Hamza? Or why are you playing Beknaz? I'm not going to say anything about that. I will criticize you for playing Arda, but I'm not going to criticize you for playing them. So that's my personal take on it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fair. But what happened when we were playing Aliya's call? He played like 3 games, and then I'm pretty sure he deactivated Instagram because he got things so hard by the fans.
Bro, it's not only him. That's another problem. It's the fans, bro.
It's not the coach at this point. Like you said, I mean, it's the fans, bro. Like a lot of us are just too reactionary, too emotional.
Exactly.
We judge too quickly. And
like
that's
one
not,
of the
that's not a
bro. One of the biggest things that, bro, I'm sorry to cut you off, but one of the things that absolutely get me tilted is like, why did Fatih Terim send away Emre Akbaba? Why did he send away Yunus Akgün? Bro, it's like people have short-term memory loss or something, because last season, both of these players were getting criticized heavily. People were saying, how is Emre Akbaba at football? We got scammed by Alanyans, yada, yada, yada. He sends him away so he can, gain his confidence back, because there's no shot he's going to get his confidence back with these kind of fans.
Which he did. He
exactly.
did get his confidence back.
And Yunus Akgün doing great at Adana. And then he's going to be coming back more fit, more confident, and better suited to be integrated into this team. So I like, people just need to, both sides of the spectrum, there's people that just kind of irritate me to no end.
Yeah.
Say that again.
What I would do in these few games that we have left, it's about 6 games, I think. Yeah, 6 games. I wouldn't go full youngster. Not really, because look, we're still the biggest club in the country, right? We can't just suddenly be like, okay, we don't take the league seriously anymore. I still think we should win every game, even though we are in this position. Yes, it may not be the most, how should I say it, rational choice, but being rational is not always part of football, right? You have to sometimes be a bit delusional. That's why you're a football fan. So I still think we should go strong. However, I would then just say, don't play players that are running out of contract with us, because they're not going to be with us anymore in the summer.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
So just don't start Babel.
Arda.
Don't use Arda. I mean, okay, as a sub, maybe that's acceptable, but still, just don't use him. Faguli is injured anyway, and Simi, I mean, he's like a emergency backup anyway, so it's basically just don't use Babel, in my opinion. The rest is just fine. So that would be my take. So
I would put Arda before Babel. I think Babel has been much better under Torrent.
100% for sure. He's at least like he doesn't have a Turkish belly. Şekerpare. Anyway, to answer Yasin's question, I'd say fuck it. Just play the youngsters. I mean, currently we are in 15th position with 41 points. Do we have to fear relegation? Not anymore, I'd say, because Rizespor, yes, in the relegation zone with 30 points. So that's 11 points. And we got how many games left?
8, right? 38 games.
8?
6.
36.
6.
Is it?
No,
Am I
we
being dumb?
played
It's
32.
38.
There's 6 left.
No. Yeah, exactly. So 18 points there. I'm sure we'll win at least a few. So
Just
just
so
play the
you
youngsters.
think?
Yeah, dude. I mean, if we lose against Altai,
Shut the club down.
Bro, we have Malatya
yeah.
next. If we lose to that, I mean, they're bottom of the league.
Yeah, which is a nice bridge.
They're also already relegated, so that's a good thing and a bad thing, right? Nothing to
No, it's a good thing if they're already
they're
like
nothing to
confirmed
lose.
relegation.
Nothing to lose.
But also nothing to gain, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather play against Malatya than Rize, who can still come out.
For sure.
That's true.
Well, Altai is not guaranteed, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, they are
the
10
only
points away.
the only
Malatya.
guaranteed I think is Malatya.
Malatya, yeah, Malatya is definitely GG's.
Mm. So yeah, that's on Monday, 18th of April.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, we'll win, bro.
2
I
3
think it'll
0.
be
I
a
think
3-0.
they haven't scored in their last 10 away games or something like that. I remember reading that stat.
Don't say that stat now. I bet they're gonna score against us now.
It's like
Yeah.
10 of their 12 games or something, or 10 of their 13 games, they haven't scored a goal in their away
They-
games or something like that.
They haven't scored in general since February 27th against Hatay.
Jesus.
Oh no, that's a lie. They won against Adana. Interesting on March 4th, 1-0. That was the last time they scored.
That's the one win out of their last 13 games, by the way.
Yeah.
Isn't Adem Büyük the coach of Yeni Malatya?
/ manager, yeah.
Wait, so he's
What
playing
manager?
and coaching?
Yeah, I believe he has both roles. I think
Because it's
I think
saying
he's-
it's
I
Jihad
think he
Arslan.
subbed himself. SofaScore is wrong with that stuff sometimes. Like Nuri Shahin was coach of Antalya for like several weeks, and they didn't even list him until like a whole 2 months later. But I believe Adem is currently player / coach, and it was even controversial not that long ago. I think he subbed himself on, and there were a lot of people like, "What kind of manager does that?"
How your coach does that.
Didn't what's his
True.
face for United do that at one point? I forgot his name, man. Damn.
United?
Giggs,
Yes.
maybe.
Giggs, yes, yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Ryan Giggs did that at United.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Nuri Shahin to do that.
So you're saying we're gonna win, but by how much, by the way, Yasin?
I'm gonna say 2-0.
2-0. All right.
I think we can score more, but like, I'm tired of making 3-goal predictions and not scoring 3 goals, so I'm trying to lower the disappointment. 2-0. If we score 3, I'll be happy.
All
I
right.
think it'll be an open game. I think it'll be like 3-0.
Same. I was gonna go for 3-0 as well. Yeah, 3-0. I mean, who do we miss for that game? Omar is back. That's one good thing. Is Momo back, by the way?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
He
he's
is,
back
right?
as well.
He should
Yeah.
be. He's been training.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
So, assuming he starts and not Gomez,
Hopefully.
I'm partly happy that we have that contract thing where it's performance based, because against Fenner as well, we were basically playing with 10 men. He never ran back. He just stood there. I know that's he's older and yada yada yada, but Momo at least puts in his shift defensively as well, which I really like. He's a workhorse. So assuming he starts,
Momo has always been good. He's always been good. But go ahead.
yeah, assuming it starts, I'm saying 3-0. I think we'll win this. Keep a clean sheet. Malatya are dreadful. I know we're dreadful as well, but they're even worse, if you can even believe that. So, 3-0.
Maz?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 3-0, bro. I'm not budging from that stance.
Okay.
But that's provided Momo's back.
Only Yasin is tired of 3-0 predictions. The rest doesn't seem like it.
Yasin says 2-0. Emre, what did you say, Emre?
3-0.
3-0.
Okay. I'm going to say...
Oh, let me guess. Going against the grain here, right?
He's gonna say they're gonna score against us.
yeah. 3-1. And the thing is, look, if you look at the score, I'm at 8 points. Salih is at 9 points. So either I need to go full against Salih's prediction to catch up, or I need to hit a clean, like, exact score. So
There's still 6 games
if
left.
it's a 3-1, yeah. So
I mean, okay, it's up to you if that's how you roll.
but aside from that, if it wasn't the case, I maybe even would say draw.
You would say draw.
Draw.
Yeah, the reason is I don't feel like our midfield is in a very good day. And the midfield, especially if we start the trio again, Thailand, Berkan, Chikildao, I'm not sure what will happen.
But have you seen Malatya though? They're like dreadful, bro. Like, okay, I know we're not good, but still, like, come on. This is
Sully,
bottom tier.
you got to give him some guzz to predict the tie,
Yeah.
bro, so you can take the lead.
No, that's why I said 3-1, right?
Some reverse psychology going on here.
What? Oh, where's John? Where's John's score?
We'll
Can
get.
we
I think
ask him?
He's actually
We'll ask
coaching.
him, but he's probably busy, so
Okay.
we'll figure it out and let the fans know next time.
Bro,
Yeah.
John should be Galatasaray's coach. Calling it here now.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to handle the pressure, man.
Nah, he would. He would. Have you seen him play Among Us?
Imagine our chat.
Exactly, bro.
Oh yeah, that.
Have you seen him
That's
play
true.
Among Us? He
Bullshit
can play.
his way out of the media.
I swear, that's something Torrent can't do.
Shit.
Torrent doesn't really get involved in that type of thing.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking.
I kind of like
Yeah.
that about him, actually. It's actually nice
He
to
said
see that.
We
he said
got-
2-0 us.
Okay.
So John 2-0.
All right.
Okay.
Good. Interesting stuff. Let's see. This episode has been pretty free flow.
There's one thing we didn't talk about, though.
There's a lot we didn't
Go
talk
ahead.
about, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. We didn't talk about who we want as the candidates or the next president. Like, you guys never touched up on that. Did you guys?
Yeah.
Like,
I think we did last episode, no?
Very
So who-
briefly. I mean, the thing is,
who did you guys want?
I'm for the wizard.
The wizard.
It was in.
so before you guys answer this, there's a few things I do want to say that we should keep in mind now and for the next few weeks. They're both changing what they're saying every single week. And
That's
the reason
true.
why they're doing this is because they're trying to get those votes. This is politics. One week, you guys said it earlier in the podcast. You said, "Oh, didn't this guy say this last week? Now he's saying this."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's gonna change if we play a 10-0 amazing performance this weekend, even if it's against Malatya. Trust there will be some comment about Torrent and possibly being manager next season. You have Metin saying that he wants to create another Fatih Terim, so that's why he's mentioning Okan and Nuri Şahin. And then you have Eşref, who is now apparently agreeing with 2 different French managers, but he wants a Turkish sporting director, which is Cenk what was his name? Cenk Ergün
Cenk
or
Ergün.
something? The same sporting director when Dursun Özbek was president.
Oh, boy.
The same guy who brought in Gomis, that was great. But the same guy who also
Maicon.
paid millions for Faguli and Maicon and Belhanda, even though these are good players, they were overpaid. So there's a lot of questions, and I think we can touch on it every week going forward. I wouldn't even mind, maybe within the next week or two, depending on what people think, having an episode just to talk about the presidents and what they've been saying, because they've each have been having interviews everywhere with Ajans 1905, with Rodop, or on TV. So there's a lot to talk about if you guys want to get into that stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been following that too. I mean, but then again, name a presidential election where candidates haven't, overpromised and underdelivered. one.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying the other week when I was arguing for Burak, even though he did a lot wrong. That's what I was saying. The guy made promises, but who hasn't made a million promises? So going
It's
into
okay
this,
to make
it's like,
promises, not keep some of them, but not keep any of them is kind of a big discrepancy.
That's not true though.
Okay, Asin. You know, I can tolerate a couple of things like the sponsorship and whatnot, but there's a lot of other things that he promised that he did not deliver on.
But I'm just saying, like, he did keep some. He didn't keep none. But whatever.
Maz,
Yeah.
how you holding up in Australia?
Not too bad, bro. The weather's cooling down.
It's winter, right? Or
Yeah, it's winter, bro. I'm just sad, bro. Galatasaray's in such a shitty spot, bro. I just don't even want to talk about Galatasaray.
Mazda, what do you want? Mazda, what do you want, bro? What do you want for Galatasaray in the next few weeks and into next season? What do you want to see? I'm curious.
What do I want to see?
Yeah, what do you want to see?
What do I want to see? Maybe just one good game where I don't want to pull all my hairs out.
Beşiktaş game.
Bro, like, tamam, okay. Yeah, but how many games have we had that in this season? How many games have we had like that in this season? Not many.
memorable games, you mean? Like good performances?
Like,
That's a good question.
like being a Galatasaray fan since I was a kid, bro. Like, there's so many games I can think off the top of my head where I'm like, oh yeah, this is Galatasaray, bro. Like Galatasaray versus Juventus, like many years ago in Champions League. Those are memorable games. We don't have them anymore, bro.
Bro, our Marseille
haven't
game, I
had them
still.
in a
Yeah,
long
honestly,
time.
we only have two. Is the Marseille game probably in Beşiktaş? That's kind of about it.
Mm.
Of course,
That's about it.
Barca away.
of course,
was
but
pretty good.
I mean, it's still not a win, right? Like, I don't think
Yeah,
in
it's
10 years
yeah.
we'll say, "Hey, remember we got a draw against Barcelona." I mean,
And
we're
we
gonna
also
forget
got a
about
draw
that.
against PSG 2 years ago.
That's not true, Salih. We lost to Real Madrid 3-2, and nobody forgets that game. Because I was just about to say, even like maybe I'm biased because we were there for the Barcelona home game. Even though we lost 2-1, hey, we were winning 1-0 at a certain time in the game, and I was fucking ecstatic. I couldn't even celebrate that
Vibes.
goal because it felt unreal. I had Salih on my right side. I had John on my left side. We're all jumping. They're hugging me. My glasses is falling off my face, and I'm about to cry because like it didn't feel real. And that to me is memorable. Like
Okay.
their first goal, what's his name? Pedri?
Pedri, yeah.
Pedri.
Yeah.
He did some magic, bro. And then the second goal they scored when we were 10 men on the field. And it happened to be from the side that Van Aanholt was missing, which is our left side. So, like, I feel proud, and that was memorable to me. I just wanted to add that to our list.
That's because you
But
were there, though.
I know. What I want to add though is because we were there, and the Real game, we did win it. I mean, in the end, it didn't mean anything because we didn't go through, but we did win the actual game. With Barca, it was a draw, and with this one, we lost.
That's
so
true.
And we came back that Madrid game too. We had some insane goals.
they were
Yeah.
starting to shake. You know, they were genuinely afraid. And if it wasn't for the away goal rule back then, because I mean they did score one very early, right? And then the second one came,
Which was
after a
offside.
Yeah,
I mean,
offside,
let's not talk about that game in general. I mean, the refereeing in that game was really shady in general. But
You know me.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
what to call you.
Anyway, I like how we used to play. We got into so many positions. Sure, we didn't score, but I'm not gonna say the first half of the season was a bad half in terms of football.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And to be fair, it was. We did play with a lot of new players. Maybe instead of integrating that many players,
If only we had a 4-4-2.
Maz, I want you, Maz, our Australian, to close off the podcast this time.
I don't know if I
Because,
should, bro.
You should, man. You should.
I don't know,
Like
bro.
do the
I don't know if I have it
like
in-
our tweets, like, subscribe things. Come on.
I don't know if I have it in me anymore, bro.
Before you do that, I just want to make a request to listeners. There is a lot of stuff that we barely touched on. There's some stuff we didn't touch on, whether that's Torrent, the team, or presidential, and going forward. If there's something that you guys want us to talk more about, mention it in a tweet or Instagram message, and we can go on for hours if it was up to us about any topic. So if you guys want to listen to something specific, let us know.
Aye. With that
Do I
said,
close it
let's
off?
just close it off. Go ahead, Maz.
Okay, thank you for tuning. I'm gonna freestyle this, bro. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, The Lions Den GS. Subscribe to me on Twitch, twitch.tv/mzrtv. I don't stream anymore, but the subscriptions are always appreciated. Having said that, good evening, good afternoon, and good night.
Good night.